Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science channel. Tonight we'll be exploring the remarkable and intricate realm of biology, the study of life itself, from the smallest cell humming with unseen activity to the vast forests and oceans that breathe around us. Life is everywhere, tireless, unfolding in ways both familiar and utterly astonishing. Every creature, every plant, every microscopic being carries stories written deep within, a hummingbird's frantic heartbeat, a whale's ancient journey, a tree whispering through roots beneath the soil. Each one reminds us that life is endlessly creative, endlessly strange, and endlessly connected. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, you are welcome to like and subscribe, or share your thoughts in the comments below. It helps other sleepy souls find their way here, one dream at a time. But for now, settle in, let the noise of the day slip away, and allow yourself to drift into this fascinating journey through life itself. The DNA in your body could stretch to the sun and back many times. Every cell you carry holds a long, elegant molecule called DNA, coiled and folded so tightly that it is almost invisible, yet if unwound from just one cell, it would stretch to nearly 2 meters in length. Multiply that by the trillions of cells composing your body, and scientists estimate that if all your DNA were lined up end to end, it would extend for billions of kilometers, far enough to reach the sun and back. Not once but many times. Hidden within your skin and bones lies a thread long enough to weave across the solar system, a molecular script containing the instructions for building and maintaining every part of you. Within its spiraling ladder are the blueprints for life itself, a code shared by all living things, connecting us to everything that breathes, crawls, or grows. Among those creatures, one of the strangest similarities lies between humans and koalas. The fingerprints of koalas are nearly indistinguishable from our own. Under a microscope, the whorls, arches, and loops of their fingertips mimic those of humans so closely that even forensic experts can struggle to tell them apart. This resemblance is purely coincidental, the result of evolution shaping skin ridges for better grip. For koalas, fingerprints help them hold smooth eucalyptus leaves and branches with precision. For humans, they likely evolved to enhance touch and control. On rare occasions, koala prints have even been mistaken for human ones at Australian crime scenes, a charming reminder of how evolution can echo the same solution in very different species. In the microscopic world, another astonishing parallel arises. Some ants farm fungi to feed their colonies. Leafcutter ants, among nature's most sophisticated farmers, march in long lines carrying leaf fragments back to their subterranean gardens. They don't eat the leaves themselves. Instead, they use them as fertilizer to cultivate a special kind of fungus, which becomes their main food source. For millions of years, long before humans discovered agriculture, ants have been cultivating this fungal crop with care, pruning it, feeding it, and even secreting natural antibiotics to keep harmful molds away. Within the dark chambers of their underground cities, they maintain thriving farms that sustain entire colonies numbering in the millions. It is a vivid reminder that the instinct to cultivate, to grow, to nurture, is not uniquely human but part of life's universal creativity. In the ocean's dim depths, another story of intelligence unfolds, that of the octopus. These mysterious creatures possess a nervous system unlike any other. Their intelligence is not centralized in one brain, but distributed throughout their bodies. Each of an octopus's 8 arms contains a network of neurons capable of independent decision-making. An arm can taste, feel, explore, and even react to its environment without waiting for commands from the central brain. If severed, it can still move and respond for hours afterward. This strange form of distributed intelligence grants the octopus extraordinary flexibility and problem-solving ability. They can open jars, navigate mazes, and even play tricks on scientists. What might seem alien to us is, in fact, an elegant design perfectly suited to survival in the shifting underwater world. Yet, even the most complex creatures are not truly alone, for within us, and upon us, exists an entire universe of life. There are more bacterial cells in your body than human ones. You are, in essence, a walking ecosystem, home to trillions of bacteria. Most are harmless. Many are essential. These microbes live in your gut, on your skin, even in your lungs, digesting food, producing vitamins, and protecting you from harmful invaders. This collective community is known as your microbiome, an invisible partnership that keeps you alive. In a sense, you are less an individual and more a living community, a mosaic of species sharing the same body. Every breath and every heartbeat is an act of cooperation, a reminder that life thrives in relationship, not isolation. Even plants, which seem so still and silent, are part of intricate networks of beneath the soil. Plants can send chemical distress signals through their roots. When threatened by pests or drought, they release chemical messages that travel through underground fungal networks, sometimes called the Wood Wide Web. Neighboring plants detect these signals and prepare for danger, producing defensive compounds or altering their growth. It is as if a forest whispers beneath the surface, sharing news and warnings in a secret chemical language. Scientists are only beginning to unravel this subterranean conversation, but it reveals a profound truth, that life, in all its forms, listens and responds. In the ocean, a small jellyfish may hold the key to one of biology's greatest mysteries, immortality. The species Turritopsis dohrnii can reverse its own aging process. When injured or stressed, it transforms from an adult back into a juvenile polyp, restarting its life cycle entirely. This process can, in theory, continue forever, making the jellyfish biologically immortal. Though it can still die from predators or disease, its cells hold the ability to renew endlessly, defying the natural boundary of time. It floats through the sea, fragile yet eternal, carrying within its translucent body a hint of life's most tantalizing secret: how to begin again. Yet even within the human body, renewal is constant. Your stomach, for instance, regenerates its lining every few days. The acids inside are strong enough to dissolve metal, so to protect itself, your stomach replaces its protective cells continuously. Without this cycle of destruction and rebirth, your stomach would digest itself. Every few days, your body quietly rebuilds what was lost, an act of self-preservation that happens without thought or awareness, proof that even within, life never ceases to repair, to continue, to endure. And then there is the hummingbird, nature's living spark. These tiny birds, with wings that blur into invisibility, burn energy at an astonishing rate. Their hearts can beat over 1,000 times per minute as they hover before flowers, sipping nectar to fuel their flight. To sustain this pace, they must eat constantly, visiting hundreds of blossoms each day. Yet at night, when rest calls, they enter a state called torpor, a kind of mini-hibernation that slows their metabolism and allows them to survive until dawn. Inside their delicate chests, each heartbeat is a whisper of perseverance, a testament to the cost of motion, beauty, and survival. From the spiral of DNA to the rhythm of a hummingbird's heart, from the fungal farms of ants to the secret songs of plants, biology reveals that life is not merely survival, it is creativity in motion, a grand conversation spanning every scale and species. It is a web of miracles, microscopic and immense, weaving together in perfect, tireless balance. Beneath every breath, within every cell, life continues its ancient dance, whispering its quiet truth, that to live, in any form, is to connect, adapt, and endlessly begin again. The human brain, though small in weight compared to the rest of the body, consumes an astonishing amount of energy, enough to power a dim light bulb. It demands about a fifth of all the energy we take in through food and drink, channeling that fuel into the endless crackle of neurons that fire, connect, and communicate every moment. This electrical activity, invisible yet constant, produces roughly the same wattage as a small glowing bulb, a quiet storm of energy that sustains thought, memory, imagination, and even the processes that happen far beneath consciousness. Every breath, heartbeat, and dream hums within this silent current. It is remarkable that so much of this power fuels not just conscious thought but countless unconscious rhythms, balancing the body, managing temperature, guiding emotions, and weaving together perception. Inside your skull burns a hidden flame that never goes out, even in sleep. When you close your eyes, the world within continues glowing, a steady light of life and awareness. Beyond the complexity of the human brain lies a world of unexpected intelligence, where even creatures without neurons seem to solve problems. Slime molds, peculiar beings that exist somewhere between plant, fungus, and animal, possess no brain, no nerves, and no organs, yet they display astonishing behavior that resembles decision-making. In one experiment, scientists placed a slime mold at one end of a maze with food at the other. Slowly, it extended its golden veins, exploring every path, retracting from dead ends, and eventually finding the shortest route to its goal. When the experiment was repeated, the slime mold remembered its previous success and navigated the maze more quickly, as if learning. These strange organisms can also connect multiple food sources through efficient networks that resemble transport systems designed by human engineers, sometimes outperforming them. And yet, all this emerges not from thought or neurons, but from chemical feedback, growth, and adaptation, a form of intelligence written in patterns of life itself. It is a reminder that cognition can take many shapes, and that the line between thought and instinct may be thinner than we imagine. The stories of life's ingenuity continue deep in the oceans, where whales carry their histories in the most unexpected place, their earwax. Much like the rings of a tree trunk that record seasons of growth and change, a whale's earwax grows in layers over the course of its life, forming long waxy plugs that can stretch for inches. Each layer preserves chemical traces of the environment, capturing pollutants, hormones, and stress markers. Scientists studying these layers can read the whale's biography, its migrations, diet, exposure to toxins, reproductive cycles, and even moments of famine or abundance. For creatures that live for decades and travel across oceans, these plugs are libraries of experience written in chemistry, chronicling the hidden life of one of Earth's most majestic travelers. While whales trace history through wax, another living organism beneath our feet has written a story far larger, the fungi that weave through soil and forests, creating vast underground webs known as mycelium. These fine, thread-like structures are so small that a handful of soil can contain miles of them, yet together they form some of the largest living entities on Earth. In Oregon, one colossal fungus stretches across more than 2,000 acres, silently expanding beneath the forest floor for centuries. Through these filaments, trees and plants trade nutrients, share water, and even warn each other of pests or drought. Stronger trees have been shown to send sugars to weaker neighbors, sustaining them through hard times. This invisible communication network, sometimes called the Wood Wide Web, binds the forest into a living community, reminding us that life's greatest strength often lies in cooperation. Every step you take in a forest is above a vast and ancient network older than human civilization, pulsing quietly with connection and exchange. Yet, even among the smallest of creatures, life demonstrates resilience so extreme that it borders on the miraculous. Tardigrades, often called water bears, are microscopic beings no bigger than a grain of dust, but they are nearly indestructible. When faced with extreme heat, freezing cold, radiation, or the vacuum of space, they enter a death-like state called a tun, curling into a tiny, dried ball. In this suspended form, their metabolism nearly stops, and they can survive conditions lethal to almost any other organism. They've endured exposure to outer space, lethal radiation, and decades of desiccation. When conditions improve, they rehydrate and come back to life, crawling as though nothing had happened. Their toughness is so extraordinary that scientists have speculated they could travel between planets encased in icy debris, surviving interstellar journeys. Tardigrades embody one of nature's most enduring lessons, that once life begins, it will find a way to persist against all odds. In the lakes of Mexico, another creature carries a secret of renewal, the axolotl, a delicate salamander that refuses to grow old in the usual way. Unlike most amphibians, axolotls remain in their youthful, aquatic form for life, never undergoing full metamorphosis. What makes them truly remarkable, however, is their ability to regenerate. When injured, they do not merely heal, they rebuild. An axolotl can regrow a limb, complete with bones, muscles, nerves, and skin. They can even repair portions of their spinal cords, hearts, and brains. Unlike humans, they regenerate without forming scars, restoring full function as if the injury had never occurred. Scientists have long studied axolotls in hopes of unlocking the biological secrets of regeneration, dreaming of a future where humans might heal as effortlessly. Within their translucent bodies lies a blueprint of renewal, an eternal youth that defies time itself. The axolotl's refusal to age, its constant potential to rebuild, stands as one of biology's most graceful metaphors for resilience, the quiet power to begin again. Meanwhile, in the vibrant world of coral reefs, identity itself becomes fluid. Certain fish, such as clownfish and wrasses, have evolved the extraordinary ability to change sex based on their social environment. In a group of clownfish, the hierarchy is strict. The largest individual is female, and the rest are males. When the dominant female dies, the largest male transforms into a female, taking her place and ensuring the group's continuity. This transformation is not just behavioral but biological. The fish's reproductive organs restructure, hormones shift, and behavior adapts to the new role, all within days or weeks. It is a stunning example of how life shapes itself to survive, of how nature values adaptability over fixed identity. For species that live in tightly knit social groups or limited environments, this ability ensures survival even in the face of sudden loss. It shows that flexibility, not rigidity, is nature's truest form of strength. Across all these stories, from the electrical storms in our brains to the whispering fungi beneath our feet, from mindless slime molds solving mazes to water bears surviving in the void of space, biology reveals itself as a symphony of persistence, intelligence, and creativity. Every organism, from the simplest to the most complex, demonstrates a facet of life's brilliance: to sense, to adapt, to communicate, and to endure. Life, in all its diversity, seems to share one fundamental instinct: to continue, to explore, and to connect. The brain lights our inner world. The slime mold maps its own paths without one. Whales write their memoirs in wax. Fungi knit forests together. Tardigrades drift between stars. Axolotls rebuild themselves. And fish rewrite their very nature to survive. Each story is a testament to life's boundless imagination. Taken together, they remind us that biology is not merely the study of living things but the study of living systems, dynamic, interconnected, and endlessly inventive. The deeper we look, the clearer it becomes that the miracle of life is not only in its beauty or complexity but in its persistence. Whether in the depths of the sea, the soil beneath our feet, or the quiet chambers of our own minds, life burns on, a steady, flickering light that refuses to go out, illuminating the universe from within. Electric eels, which are actually a type of knife fish, are living power stations capable of generating shocks strong enough to knock down a horse. Within their long, slender bodies, thousands of specialized cells called electrocytes work together to produce bursts of electricity. When an eel discharges all of these cells simultaneously, the resulting shock can reach up to 600 volts, powerful enough to stun large animals and, as legends suggest, even topple a horse wading through water. These electrical discharges serve multiple purposes: defense against predators, communication, and hunting. When hunting, electric eels emit rapid pulses that paralyze their prey, allowing them to swallow it whole. They can also generate weaker electric fields that act like a biological radar, detecting the movements of nearby creatures in murky rivers. Watching an electric eel hunt is like witnessing a natural fusion of biology and physics, an animal that wields electricity as effortlessly as humans breathe. In the quiet forests above water, another kind of hidden network thrives. Trees, though they stand silently, are deeply connected underground through intricate fungal networks known as mycorrhizae. These fungal threads form vast communication and nutrient highways beneath the soil, linking the roots of different trees together. Through these channels, trees share sugars, nutrients, and even chemical messages. For example, a shaded tree might receive energy-rich carbon compounds from a sunlit neighbor, while a tree attacked by insects may send distress signals through the fungal web, prompting others to boost their defenses. Some scientists call the oldest and largest trees mother trees, because they act as anchors of this network, channeling resources to young saplings struggling in the shadows. This invisible web has been called the forest internet, a living system that demonstrates how cooperation, not just competition, defines life in the woods. Beneath every step in the forest lies an unseen pulse of communication, a world bound together by threads of fungi, whispering the language of survival. Far below the forests, in the crushing blackness of the deep sea, other beings have evolved their own extraordinary ways of surviving without sunlight. Some deep-sea fish produce their own light through a phenomenon called bioluminescence. Using specialized cells or symbiotic bacteria, they generate light from chemical reactions to lure prey, attract mates, or deter predators. Anglerfish, for instance, dangle luminous lures from rod-like extensions on their heads to draw curious prey close enough to swallow. Others possess rows of glowing organs along their bellies that mimic the faint shimmer of moonlight filtering down from above, rendering them invisible against the dim ocean surface. The light produced by these creatures is often blue or green, as those wavelengths travel farthest underwater. In the perpetual night of the abyss, this living light is both weapon and camouflage, a tool of life and death. To imagine the deep sea is to picture a vast black expanse punctuated by drifting sparks of living lanterns, each flicker a testament to life's refusal to yield to darkness. Meanwhile, inside our own bodies, another invisible cycle of renewal unfolds constantly. Deep within our bones, in the marrow, millions of new red blood cells are created every second. These tiny, disc-shaped cells carry oxygen to every corner of the body, yet their lives are fleeting, lasting only about 120 days before they become fragile and are removed by the spleen and liver. Their components, like iron, are recycled to create new cells in a continuous cycle of death and rebirth. Within just 4 months, nearly all of your red blood cells are replaced, meaning the blood flowing through your veins today is entirely different from that of last season. This ceaseless rhythm sustains life, a quiet reminder that we are not static beings but constantly renewing rivers of living cells. Among the tallest of land animals, giraffes exhibit another fascinating example of life's adaptations. Despite their long, graceful necks that stretch high above the savanna, giraffes have the same number of neck vertebrae as humans, 7. The difference lies in scale. Each vertebra in a giraffe's neck can exceed 10 inches in length, stacking together to create that iconic tower of muscle and bone. To maintain blood flow to their brains, giraffes have evolved specialized valves and high blood pressure systems that prevent fainting when they lower their heads to drink or raise them to look across the plains. This ingenious design allows them to reach leaves that few other animals can, giving them a competitive edge in feeding. Their shared bone count with humans is a quiet echo of our shared evolutionary blueprint, different paths shaped by the same fundamental design. If giraffes show evolution's elegance, insects display its sheer strangeness. Some insects can survive for days after being completely decapitated. Unlike humans, whose brains control nearly all vital functions, insects possess a decentralized nervous system. Much of their bodily control resides in nerve clusters called ganglia spread throughout their bodies. Even without a head, they can continue moving, breathing through small openings along their sides, and responding to touch. They eventually die of dehydration or starvation, but their ability to persist without a brain challenges our understanding of what it means to be alive. To us, such resilience feels like a scene from a horror film, but to insects, it is merely an evolutionary advantage, a decentralized system so efficient that even decapitation cannot stop it immediately. If insects are defined by resilience, then the pistol shrimp represents raw, explosive power. This tiny crustacean, also known as the snapping shrimp, wields a single oversized claw that it can snap shut with incredible speed, creating a bubble that moves faster than sound in water. When that bubble collapses, it releases a shockwave powerful enough to kill or stun small prey. For an instant, temperatures near the collapsing bubble can reach those found on the surface of the sun, and the burst emits a flash of light invisible to the human eye. The pistol shrimp snap is one of nature's most dramatic examples of how immense energy can be generated from small forms, an underwater explosion crafted by evolution itself. Yet, in the world of the microscopic, an even stranger kind of battle unfolds. Scientists have discovered viruses that infect other viruses, known as virophages. These tiny entities cannot reproduce on their own, but when a giant virus invades a cell, the virophage hijacks its machinery, using it to replicate itself while weakening the larger virus. This parasitic relationship within another parasite reveals that even the simplest forms of life operate within complex hierarchies of survival. The viral world, once thought to be straightforward, is now known to be a labyrinth of competition and cooperation, where even viruses can become prey. Finally, we turn from the invisible to the delicate and visible, the spider's web. Despite its fragile appearance, spider silk is one of the strongest materials known to science. By weight, it is stronger than steel and more elastic than most synthetic fibers. A strand of spider silk as thick as a pencil could, in theory, stop a jet mid-flight. Spiders produce multiple types of silk for different purposes: sticky strands for trapping prey, strong ones for structural support, and smooth threads for wrapping or climbing. Scientists have long sought to recreate spider silk in laboratories for use in bulletproof fabrics, lightweight construction, and medical sutures, yet the secret of its natural production remains elusive. Every glistening web in the morning light is a masterpiece of biological engineering, a structure spun from pure protein with precision and grace. Beneath the waves, life's architecture reaches another level of wonder in coral reefs. Though they appear as lifeless rock, reefs are built by colonies of tiny creatures called polyps, each no larger than the head of a pin. These small animals extract calcium carbonate from seawater to form hard skeletons, which accumulate over generations into massive reef systems stretching for miles. These reefs provide shelter, food, and breeding grounds for countless marine species, making them one of the most biodiverse ecosystems on Earth. Over centuries, their growth shapes entire coastlines, turning microscopic builders into the architects of underwater cities. From the electric eel's jolt to the whispering forest roots, from deep-sea lanterns to microscopic wars between viruses, from spiders weaving silk stronger than steel to coral polyps constructing worlds of color, nature's ingenuity is boundless. Every living thing, whether as vast as a giraffe or as small as a virus, plays its part in an unending story of adaptation, resilience, and creation. Life, in all its forms, endlessly reinvents itself, electric, luminous, and woven through with threads of wonder. Coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, are among the most vibrant and essential ecosystems on Earth, sheltering nearly a quarter of all marine species despite covering less than 1% of the ocean floor. These dazzling underwater cities are built by tiny coral polyps, creatures no larger than a pinhead that slowly secrete calcium carbonate skeletons to form massive reef structures over centuries. Their delicate tentacles capture nutrients drifting in the water, and their symbiotic relationships with microscopic algae provide both color and energy to the reef. Though fragile, these living fortresses endure for millennia, protecting coastlines, nurturing fish populations, and forming the foundations of ocean life. Coral reefs remind us that the smallest architects can create the largest sanctuaries, structures that breathe, grow, and sustain worlds beneath the waves. In the icy forests of North America, another marvel of nature reveals itself each winter: the wood frog, a creature capable of freezing solid and returning to life with a thaw. As temperatures plummet, the wood frog's body begins a process of controlled freezing. Its heart stops beating, its lungs cease movement, and ice crystals form throughout its tissues. To survive this extreme transformation, its cells flood with glucose, acting as a natural antifreeze that prevents damage from crystallization. Buried beneath snow and leaves, the frog appears lifeless for months, only to revive when spring warmth returns. Its heart begins to beat again, its body softens, and it hops away as though awakening from sleep. This extraordinary adaptation allows the wood frog to survive conditions that would kill almost any other vertebrate, a biological miracle in which life itself pauses and resumes in rhythm with the turning seasons. In the dark, frigid depths of the Arctic, another wonder drifts through time: the Greenland shark, Earth's longest-lived vertebrate. These massive, slow-moving predators can live for more than 400 years, their longevity discovered through analysis of proteins in their eyes. Some individuals alive today may have been born before the time of Shakespeare, silently navigating beneath the ice while empires rose and fell above. Growing only a few centimeters per year, Greenland sharks do not reach maturity until they are well over a century old, and their incredible lifespan may be linked to the cold, stable temperatures of their deep-sea environment and their slow metabolism. They are living time capsules, carrying centuries of memory within their flesh, symbols of patience and endurance in the endless stillness of the northern seas. On land, the story of uniqueness unfolds in the intricate whirls of our fingertips. Every human being possesses fingerprints that are unlike anyone else's. Even identical twins who share nearly identical DNA have distinct patterns. These ridges and spirals form in the womb, shaped by both genetics and random forces such as the pressure of the fingers against the amniotic sac. Once established, they never change, remaining faithful markers of individuality throughout life. Forensic science has long relied on them for identification, but beyond their practical use, fingerprints are profound symbols of human distinctiveness. They remind us that even when nature creates near copies, it still insists on difference. Each swirl etched into our skin before birth is a tiny signature of who we are, an unrepeatable mark of individuality carried on our hands. In the skies above, birds perceive a reality richer than ours. While human eyes can see light from red to violet, birds possess an extra type of photoreceptor that allows them to detect ultraviolet light. To them, the world is saturated with colors and patterns invisible to us. What seems like plain plumage to human eyes may shimmer with ultraviolet markings that help birds recognize mates, signal dominance, or blend into their surroundings with dazzling camouflage. Flowers, too, reveal hidden ultraviolet patterns, like glowing road signs guiding birds and insects toward nectar. Scientists using ultraviolet cameras have uncovered this secret world, a universe painted in colors we can never see, where every feather and petal tells a story in wavelengths beyond human reach. Birds inhabit a dimension of light we can only imagine, their skies radiant with unseen hues that shape their lives and behavior. In the vast blue expanses of the ocean, the largest creature ever known to live, the blue whale, moves with a slow, thunderous grace. Within its enormous chest beats a heart the size of a small car, weighing nearly as much as a horse. Each deep beat sends gallons of blood coursing through a body that can stretch over 100 feet long. When diving, the whale's heart slows to only a few beats per minute, conserving oxygen as it glides effortlessly through the deep. To imagine this colossal organ is to grasp the scale of life magnified to its fullest, the quiet power of existence on a monumental level. While our hearts flutter constantly, the whale's heart echoes through the ocean like a steady drumbeat, each thud a song of endurance and vastness. Among the reeds and seagrass of coastal waters, another extraordinary form of life unfolds in reverse. The male seahorse gives birth. Unlike almost any other species, seahorses have evolved a system where the male carries the developing young. After a delicate courtship dance, the female deposits her eggs into a specialized brood pouch on the male's abdomen. Inside, he fertilizes them and provides nutrients and oxygen as they grow. The pouch adjusts its chemistry to mimic the perfect environment for embryonic development. When the babies are ready, the male experiences muscular contractions and gives birth to dozens or even hundreds of tiny, fully formed seahorses. This remarkable reversal of traditional roles ensures that both parents share in the work of reproduction and survival, making the male seahorse one of the ocean's most devoted fathers. In the endless grasslands of Africa, speed finds its purest expression in the cheetah. Built for velocity, every muscle and bone in its body is fine-tuned for acceleration. While capable of reaching top speeds of around 70 miles per hour, its greatest feat is how quickly it can get there, rivaling the acceleration of a high-performance sports car. Its long, flexible spine acts like a spring, stretching and coiling with each stride, while large nasal passages and lungs flood its body with oxygen. Unlike other cats, its claws remain semi-retractable, providing traction like the spikes of a sprinter's shoe. Yet this blazing speed comes at a cost. Within less than a minute, the cheetah overheats and must stop to rest, panting heavily as its pulse slows. Each sprint is a gamble between hunger and exhaustion, life and death. Watching a cheetah explode into motion is to witness the raw physics of life in its most elegant and fleeting form. Not all predators chase their prey across plains, some wait patiently for it to come to them. In nutrient-poor environments where most plants struggle to survive, a few have evolved an astonishing solution: they became hunters. Carnivorous plants such as Venus flytraps, sundews, and pitcher plants lure insects with sweet scents and glistening traps. Once the unsuspecting prey lands, it triggers sensitive hairs or slides into slippery pools where it is slowly digested by enzymes. Over time, the plant absorbs the released nutrients, supplementing what the soil cannot provide. These living hybrids blur the line between flora and fauna, embodying both stillness and ferocity. To see a leaf act like a stomach is to be reminded that life's drive to survive can twist into the most unexpected forms. Deep inside our own bodies, even what seems solid is in constant motion. Our bones, which appear rigid and unchanging, are alive with activity. Every day, specialized cells called osteoclasts break down old bone tissue, while others, osteoblasts, rebuild it anew. This dynamic balance maintains strength, flexibility, and resilience throughout our lives. The entire human skeleton is essentially renewed every decade, meaning that even the hardest part of us is not permanent. Bone is a living fabric, forever breaking and remaking itself in silent cycles that mirror the larger rhythms of growth and decay found throughout nature. From coral reefs to wood frogs, Greenland sharks to cheetahs, blue whales to seahorses, and even the bones within our own bodies, life is a tapestry of reinvention. Across every habitat and scale, from the frozen tundra to the ultraviolet skies, evolution crafts wonders that defy logic and expectation. Each organism, from the tiniest coral polyp to the mightiest whale, holds a unique solution to the challenge of existence. Together they form an endless story of adaptation, resilience, and creativity, a symphony of survival played out in colors, rhythms, and forms that remind us how astonishingly alive our world truly is. Over the course of about a decade, nearly your entire skeleton is renewed through a silent but extraordinary biological process that reshapes you from within. Bones, though they may seem solid and permanent, are in constant conversation with the world around you, responding to your movements, stresses, and habits. Cells called osteoclasts and osteoblasts tirelessly dismantle and rebuild the framework of your body, replacing old tissue with new. This remodeling makes bones stronger where strain is common, such as in athletes or manual workers, and weaker where inactivity rules, reflecting the truth that life's structures depend on use. Even tiny fractures heal without fanfare, and every step you take continues a lifelong project of renewal, a living construction site hidden beneath your skin. Beneath the arid soils of East Africa, the naked mole rat thrives in a world that would challenge nearly any other mammal. Living in vast underground colonies that resemble insect hives more than mammalian families, these small, hairless rodents have evolved remarkable traits. Among the strangest is their near immunity to pain caused by acid or inflammation. When other animals would burn or ache, the naked mole rat feels nothing. Its nerve cells lack certain pathways that transmit these signals, an adaptation likely born from life in crowded tunnels rich in carbon dioxide, where acid can easily form in body tissues. By dulling pain, they can survive and work in conditions that would overwhelm most creatures. Their resilience has made them invaluable to science, offering insight into pain suppression, longevity, and even cancer resistance, nature's living clue to medical miracles. In contrast to the dark tunnels of the mole rat, butterflies flutter through sunlight and color, yet beneath their delicate beauty lies a set of extraordinary sensory adaptations. They taste with their feet. Tiny sensors on their legs allow them to sample the chemical makeup of whatever surface they land on. To a butterfly, every landing is an experiment, a way to determine whether a leaf will nourish their offspring or whether a flower holds nectar worth sipping. This adaptation saves time and energy in a brief, fragile life, transforming every flutter into both exploration and judgment. The world beneath their wings is not just visual splendor, it's an intricate sensory map where taste, color, and smell merge in harmony. Nature's inventiveness extends to defense as well. In the deserts of North America, horned lizards rely on one of the most shocking survival tactics ever seen, shooting blood from their eyes. When threatened, these small reptiles can rupture tiny blood vessels near their eyes, releasing jets of blood that startle predators and even taste foul to some. It's a gruesome yet effective display, a last resort when camouflage or flight fails. Such bizarre adaptations remind us that survival in nature is not always graceful but endlessly resourceful. Evolution finds solutions wherever there is need, even if that means weaponizing one's own bloodstream. The human eye, by comparison, may seem unremarkable, yet it is one of the most advanced organs in the natural world. Within its small sphere lie millions of light-detecting cells called cones that translate wavelengths into color. With just 3 types, sensitive to red, green, and blue, we can distinguish millions of shades, perceiving subtleties as fine as the difference between 2 leaves on a tree. A rare few humans, called tetrachromats, have an extra cone type, granting them access to a world of color invisible to the rest of us. This sensitivity to color has always served a purpose, guiding early humans to ripe fruits, healthy plants, and subtle emotional cues in faces. Every sunrise, flower, and flicker of flame paints reality in ways that both sustain and enchant us, a living rainbow embedded in perception itself. While our eyes marvel at the world's colors, a hidden army of microorganisms works unseen to repair the damage humans have done to it. Certain bacteria, discovered in recent years, can consume plastic, the very material that has polluted land and sea for decades. These bacteria produce enzymes that break down polyethylene terephthalate, or PET, the substance used in countless bottles and packaging. Though the process is slow, it offers hope that nature might one day undo humanity's excesses. Scientists are working to enhance these bacterial enzymes, dreaming of a future where recycling becomes biological rather than mechanical. In this delicate balance between destruction and repair, life proves once again that it adapts to even the most artificial challenges, turning human waste into food for microscopic life. In the ocean's shallow tide pools, starfish move with quiet grace, unaware that they possess one of the most astonishing abilities in the animal kingdom: the power to regenerate entire limbs. If a starfish loses an arm to a predator, it simply grows a new one. Some species can even regrow an entire body from a single arm, as long as part of the central disc remains. This incredible resilience comes from stem cells that remain active throughout their lives, ready to rebuild what is lost. Regeneration is a slow art, taking months or years, but it ensures survival in a world where injury is inevitable. Each arm reborn is a testament to patience, a silent echo of life's determination to continue, even when broken. Deep within our own DNA lies another story of survival, one written not by our species alone but by countless viral invaders. About 8% of the human genome is made of ancient viruses that once infected our ancestors, inserting their genetic material into reproductive cells. Over millions of years, these viral fragments have become part of us, passed from parent to child like genetic ghosts. Most are inactive, but some have been repurposed by evolution to perform useful roles, including immune defense and even the development of the placenta. We are, in a literal sense, part virus. The human story is not one of pure lineage but of merger and adaptation, a biological archive of ancient infections that shape the very fabric of what we are. Yet even as our bodies carry echoes of the past, life around us plays out dramas that seem drawn from science fiction. In tropical forests, a fungus known as Ophiocordyceps transforms ants into zombies. Once infected, an ant becomes a puppet, its nervous system hijacked by fungal chemicals that compel it to climb vegetation and lock its jaws in place. There, the fungus consumes it from within before sprouting from its head to release spores that rain down on other unsuspecting ants below. This eerie cycle, at once horrifying and fascinating, reveals nature's darker creativity. Even the mind itself can be colonized, rewritten by forces indifferent to will or reason. The boundary between autonomy and control blurs in the microscopic world, where survival drives evolution into realms both grotesque and brilliant. And while the fungus enslaves its hosts, another species in the ocean displays a very different form of intelligence, one built on connection and identity. Dolphins, known for their playfulness and grace, communicate in complex social groups through a language of clicks and whistles. Among these sounds, scientists have discovered something extraordinary. Each dolphin has its own signature whistle, a unique vocal pattern that functions like a name. They use it to identify themselves, call to others, and even respond when another dolphin mimics their name. This level of individuality and memory suggests not only intelligence but self-awareness. In the vast expanse of the ocean, where visibility is often limited, these whistles become the threads that hold dolphin societies together. Names spoken in water, echoes of belonging carried through waves. From the bones beneath our skin to the bacteria beneath our feet, from blood-squirting lizards to zombie-making fungi, the living world reveals a boundless inventiveness. Each adaptation, no matter how strange, is a solution forged by time, shaped by pressure, and refined by survival. The same forces that renew our skeletons and shape fingerprints also sculpt ecosystems, designing marvels beyond imagination. Whether it's the patient rebuilding of a starfish, the unfeeling nerves of a mole rat, or the whispering language of dolphins, life proves over and over that there is no single path to endurance. Existence itself is a tapestry of endless strategies, a 4 billion-year experiment in persistence, beauty, and change. This discovery suggests not only intelligence but also a sense of individuality within dolphin pods, as these remarkable creatures are not merely responding to sounds but addressing one another in a way that echoes the use of human names. In the rolling waves where they swim, dolphins speak a language of recognition, carrying personal identities across the ocean's depths and weaving bonds that go beyond instinct to something resembling emotional connection. Meanwhile, on land, the Venus flytrap exhibits a completely different yet equally astonishing form of awareness. This carnivorous plant, with its iconic hinged leaves that snap shut on unsuspecting prey, acts not blindly but with calculation. Each of its traps is lined with sensitive hairs that act as triggers, yet one touch will not close the trap. The plant waits patiently, and only if a second touch occurs within about 20 seconds does it act, ensuring that the movement came from real prey rather than a stray raindrop or breeze. Once the trap closes, it continues counting, and additional touches from the struggling insect trigger the release of digestive enzymes, breaking the prey down into nutrients. In this way, the Venus flytrap reveals a quiet intelligence without a brain, an organism that demonstrates patience and strategy, proving that awareness can exist in forms far removed from nerves or neurons. Inside the human body, another world of intelligence thrives unseen. The human gut is home to trillions of microbes forming a vast ecosystem called the gut microbiome, a bustling community of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that outnumber our own human cells. These tiny residents help digest food, synthesize vitamins, train the immune system, and even influence mood and mental health through chemical signals that reach the brain. Each person carries a unique microbiome shaped by diet, environment, and even birth. In truth, every human is not a single organism but a collective being, an intricate city of microscopic life working in harmony to sustain health and balance. Deep in the deserts of North America, the kangaroo rat demonstrates another kind of genius: survival without water. This small creature, hopping across the moonlit dunes, rarely drinks water. Instead, it extracts moisture from the seeds it eats and conserves every possible drop through highly efficient kidneys that concentrate urine to extreme levels. Even its breathing helps save water. Its nasal passages cool and trap moisture from exhaled air. By remaining underground during the day, it shields itself from the scorching sun, and through these adaptations, it has mastered existence in a land where water is almost non-existent, turning one of Earth's harshest environments into a home. Out in the ocean, another form of beauty and intelligence unfolds each night as bioluminescent plankton make waves glow with ethereal light. These microscopic dinoflagellates emit light when disturbed, transforming every ripple, wave, and swimmer's stroke into trails of glowing blue fire. This breathtaking glow is not mere decoration. It serves to deter predators by startling them, or by attracting larger predators that might attack the first. To humans watching from the shore, it feels as though the ocean itself is alive with stars, each spark a pulse of life illuminating the vast darkness. Bioluminescent bays around the world have become sanctuaries of wonder, where people stand in silence before this living fire, reminded that even the smallest creatures can paint the world with magic. Equally remarkable are orchids, masters of deception in the plant kingdom. Some orchids have evolved flowers that mimic the appearance and scent of female insects, luring males to attempt mating. In the process, they brush against the orchid's pollen, carrying it unknowingly to another flower. Other orchids mimic the scent of food sources, tricking pollinators into visiting without ever offering nectar in return. This clever manipulation allows orchids to reproduce efficiently while conserving energy. Every bloom is an illusion crafted by evolution, slow, silent trickery in nature's grand theater, showing that intelligence can take the shape of deception, beauty, and timing. In the still waters of tropical rivers, crocodiles wait as living relics of ancient Earth. These formidable reptiles possess an astonishing ability. They can slow their heartbeats to near zero. When submerged, a crocodile can drop its heart rate to just a few beats per minute, or nearly stop it entirely, allowing it to conserve oxygen and remain hidden underwater for over an hour. This state of stillness makes them perfect ambush predators, patient beyond imagination. Their slow heartbeat is a ghostly rhythm, a whisper beneath the surface that keeps them alive for weeks without food, conserving energy in a way that only ancient design could perfect. Yet the platypus, another creature from Australia's evolutionary wonderland, reveals an equally strange survival secret. A creature that lays eggs like a reptile, sports a duck-like bill, and nurses its young without nipples might already seem like nature's playful experiment, but the male platypus adds another surprise: venom. Sharp spurs on its hind legs deliver a toxin strong enough to paralyze predators or rivals during the mating season. Though not deadly to humans, the venom causes excruciating pain that can last for weeks. Scientists studying it have discovered unique proteins that could one day inspire new medicines, including powerful painkillers. The platypus, often seen as a jumble of borrowed traits, is in fact a masterpiece of adaptation, blending ancient and modern features into a uniquely resilient design. Then come the bats, nature's night navigators and the only mammals truly capable of sustained flight. Their wings are not feathered but formed of elongated finger bones covered in a thin, flexible membrane, giving them extraordinary control in the air. They can dart, swoop, hover, and turn with a precision unmatched even by most birds. Some species chase insects through complex aerial acrobatics, while others sip nectar mid-flight or pollinate flowers under the stars. Bats make up about 1/5 of all mammal species on Earth, inhabiting nearly every region of the planet. Their flight has shaped not only their evolution but also their societies, feeding habits, and migrations. Long before human inventors dreamed of conquering the skies, bats had already turned the night into their vast kingdom, masters of motion and echo. Yet perhaps no creature shows the limits of human imagination better than the mantis shrimp. This small, brilliantly colored marine crustacean is both an artist of sight and a warrior of precision. It can strike with the speed of a bullet, shattering shells or aquarium glass, but its vision is what truly defies understanding. Humans see the world through 3 color receptors: red, green, and blue, while the mantis shrimp possesses up to 16. It perceives ultraviolet and polarized light, and scientists believe it can detect a kaleidoscope of hues far beyond human comprehension. To us, a rainbow is already a marvel. To a mantis shrimp, it might be an explosion of colors invisible to our eyes, an intricate symphony of light beyond imagination. Researchers continue to study how this visual system works, suspecting it plays key roles in communication, hunting, and navigation through the vibrant underwater world. Across all these stories, from dolphins that call each other by name to plants that count, from deserts without water to glowing seas and ancient predators, the natural world reveals itself as an endless web of intelligence, adaptation, and wonder. Each species, no matter how small or strange, carries within it a form of genius honed by evolution and shaped by necessity. Life is not defined by thought alone but by awareness in its many forms: the patience of a plant, the strategy of a predator, the cooperation of microbes, and the perception of light that we can barely imagine. In every corner of the earth, life listens, waits, calculates, and creates, each organism a living equation written by time. To observe these beings is to glimpse the poetry of existence itself, where intelligence is not an exception but the rule, woven through every heartbeat, every leaf, every flash of bioluminescent light beneath the stars. Some species of mantis shrimp possess vivid, almost psychedelic markings that, when viewed through their extraordinary visual system, may appear even more spectacular, revealing a world of colors and wavelengths far beyond human perception. To imagine reality through their eyes is to confront the humbling truth that what we see represents only a narrow fragment of existence, a limited slice of the vast electromagnetic spectrum. Beyond these marvels of marine biology, the human body too carries within it wonders of precision and balance. Blood, for instance, makes up about 1/13 of an average adult's body weight, roughly 5 liters in total, forming a crimson river that sustains every living cell. It is a life-giving ocean in miniature, transporting oxygen from the lungs to tissues, carrying nutrients from digested food, collecting waste for removal, and defending the body against invaders through legions of white blood cells. Constantly renewed by bone marrow and filtered by the spleen and liver, blood is the silent engine of life, a cycle of creation and destruction that repeats every few months. Without its endless motion, the body would starve of air and energy within moments. The mathematical harmony between blood volume and body weight is a reminder of nature's design, a quiet equation that keeps us alive. Far above the ground, certain birds have evolved to rest in a way that seems to defy reason. They can sleep while flying. Migratory journeys may stretch thousands of miles over open oceans or desolate landscapes with nowhere safe to land, so species such as frigate birds have developed a remarkable adaptation known as unihemispheric slow-wave sleep. In this state, one half of the bird's brain rests while the other remains alert, maintaining flight control and vigilance against predators. Occasionally, both hemispheres rest together for mere seconds before switching back, creating a fragile but effective compromise between survival and exhaustion. It is sleep turned into motion, a biological miracle that transforms the endless sky into a drifting, airborne bedroom. Humans require stillness and safety to rest, but these birds have turned fatigue into a balancing act, gliding through the night with half a dream. In the insect world, another astonishing defense has evolved: the bombardier beetle's boiling spray. When threatened, this small but mighty creature mixes chemicals inside its abdomen, hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone, that, when combined with special enzymes, trigger a violent exothermic reaction. The resulting explosion ejects a hot, noxious liquid at nearly boiling temperatures in rapid bursts accompanied by audible pops. This miniature chemical cannon can drive away frogs, lizards, and even curious mammals with terrifying efficiency. The process is so fast and precise that it inspired scientists studying combustion and propulsion systems. The bombardier beetle embodies evolution's genius, demonstrating how power and precision can exist in creatures no larger than a fingernail. Deep in the lightless ocean, another adaptation pushes the boundaries of what life can become. The giant squid, long the stuff of myth and sailors' tales, navigates its dark world with eyes as large as dinner plates, each up to a foot wide, the largest in the animal kingdom. These enormous organs detect the faintest flashes of bioluminescence, helping the squid sense prey or predators like sperm whales in the abyssal depths. Its pupils adjust to near total darkness, capturing whispers of light invisible to us. To look into a giant squid's eye, scientists say, is like staring into the void itself, a gaze shaped by eons of darkness, pressure, and isolation. Such adaptations remind us that vision is not merely about seeing light, but surviving its absence. On the ocean's surface, scale takes a different form in the blue whale, the largest animal to ever live. Even its tongue is a marvel of magnitude, weighing as much as a full-grown elephant. This immense, muscular organ moves thousands of gallons of seawater through baleen plates, trapping millions of krill with each mouthful. During feeding, the whale engulfs water by the ton, then pushes it out with the power of its tongue, filtering food with effortless precision. Every part of the blue whale's body is colossal, yet finely tuned, illustrating how evolution scales up the simplest functions into breathtaking extremes. The whale's tongue, an organ of power and grace, symbolizes life magnified to its grandest proportions. If the blue whale represents grandeur, the hydra represents eternity. This tiny freshwater creature, related to jellyfish, challenges the very concept of aging. Unlike most animals, hydras do not weaken or deteriorate over time. Instead, they constantly regenerate, replacing old cells with new ones at such a rate that they appear biologically immortal. Even when cut into pieces, each fragment can regrow into a complete hydra, reconstructing its body from a few living cells. In laboratory studies, hydras show no measurable increase in mortality with age, suggesting that they may live indefinitely under the right conditions. Their bodies, though simple tubes crowned with tentacles, are filled with stem cells that divide endlessly, a living testament to life's potential for renewal. Floating quietly in ponds and streams, the hydra embodies perpetual youth in miniature form, a whisper of immortality on Earth. In the rainforests of South America, another kind of collective intelligence takes shape. Army ants, relentless in their marches, face rivers, gaps, and obstacles as they sweep across the jungle floor. But they do not stop or retreat. Instead, they build living bridges out of themselves, linking bodies together to form chains and lattices strong enough for the colony to cross. As thousands of ants flow across, the bridge constantly shifts and reshapes, individuals adjusting their positions to strengthen weak points or extend the span. Once the crossing is complete, the structure dissolves, and the ants resume their journey. This behavior, born from instinct and cooperation, reveals a level of coordination that mimics human engineering without blueprints, leaders, or commands. Each ant acts on local cues, yet together they create structures that rival human ingenuity, a living architecture built from pure cooperation. Even in our own bodies, the miracles of design are everywhere. The skin, our largest organ, makes up about 1/6 of total body weight and forms the body's outermost defense. It shields us from microbes, harmful radiation, and injury while also regulating temperature through sweat and insulation. Beneath its surface, nerves translate texture, warmth, and pain into sensation, allowing us to feel the world in vivid detail. The skin constantly renews itself, shedding millions of cells daily and generating new layers beneath. It even produces vitamin D when exposed to sunlight, connecting us directly to the rhythms of the natural world. Every breeze, every caress, every ray of sun begins its journey through this living fabric. Despite its familiarity, skin is a masterpiece of engineering, flexible, self-healing, and ever-aware. Far to the north and south, where cold dominates and ice rules, life finds ways to persist against the impossible. In polar seas, some fish can survive being completely frozen. They produce special antifreeze glycoproteins that attach to forming ice crystals in their blood, preventing them from growing and tearing cells apart. This allows their body fluids to remain liquid even below freezing. Others, like Antarctic nodothenoid fish, can even tolerate small amounts of ice within their tissues without harm, reviving as temperatures rise in spring as if nothing had happened. What to humans would mean certain death is merely another season to endure for these remarkable creatures. Their adaptations reveal that biology can thrive where physics seems to forbid it. At the top of the world, the polar bear, seemingly cloaked in pure white, hides another secret beneath its fur. Its skin is black. This dark pigmentation absorbs and retains heat from the sun, helping the bear survive in frigid Arctic temperatures. Its fur, though it appears white, is actually composed of transparent, hollow hairs that scatter and reflect light, making it appear snowy while trapping warmth close to the skin. Each layer of this insulation system works in harmony. The black skin collects heat, the hollow fur retains it, and a thick layer of fat seals it in. To the eye, the polar bear seems built from ice, yet it is in truth an absorber of light and life in one of Earth's coldest realms. Together, these extraordinary beings, from the mantis shrimp in its unseeable colors to the regenerating hydra, the sky-sleeping birds, the chemical alchemy of beetles, and the giants of the deep, reveal a common truth: life is infinitely inventive. Every environment, from the polar oceans to the tropical canopy, has pushed evolution to create solutions as strange as they are perfect. Some species achieve survival through cooperation, others through deception or regeneration, and some through sheer magnitude. Even the human body, often taken for granted, reflects these same principles: cycles of renewal, systems of defense, and harmonies of design that link us to the wider living world. Beneath the diversity of forms lies a single, unbroken thread: the will to continue, to adapt, and to create. Every creature, whether microscopic or massive, luminous or invisible, participates in the grand experiment of existence, proving that intelligence, resilience, and beauty are not the exceptions of nature but its rule. Nature's ingenuity reveals itself in countless ways, from the icy poles to the deepest oceans, from the hidden complexity of human biology to the astonishing designs of the smallest creatures. The polar bear, for example, is cloaked in what seems like pure whiteness, yet its fur is made of transparent, hollow hairs that scatter light, creating the illusion of snow-colored fur. Beneath this veil of camouflage lies black skin, an ingenious adaptation that absorbs the weak warmth of the Arctic sun. Together, these traits allow the polar bear to stay insulated against the punishing cold while remaining nearly invisible across the frozen landscape. A perfect marriage of camouflage and thermoregulation. Such intricacies remind us that what we see in nature often conceals the mechanisms that truly sustain life. Similarly, the chameleon, known for its shifting colors, conceals another extraordinary adaptation, its lightning-fast tongue. In less than a fraction of a second, the chameleon's tongue launches from its mouth, powered by tightly coiled elastic tissues that store energy like a loaded spring. Some species can extend their tongues farther than the length of their own bodies, wrapping the sticky tip around unsuspecting prey with stunning accuracy. Even in cool conditions when most reptiles slow down, the chameleon's tongue fires with mechanical precision, making it one of the fastest hunting systems in the animal kingdom. This reptile, often seen as a symbol of stillness and patience, is in truth a master of explosive motion, striking before its prey even perceives danger. If we move from the trees to the oceans, the shark emerges as one of Earth's oldest survivors, predating even the first forests. Sharks have existed for over 400 million years, before trees, mountains, and perhaps before the idea of time as humans perceive it. Their skeletons are built not of bone but of cartilage, granting them unmatched flexibility and buoyancy. Through the rise and fall of continents, and the mass extinctions that wiped out countless species, sharks adapted and endured. Their electroreceptive organs can sense the faint electrical signals of prey hidden in darkness, a sixth sense that has kept them supreme hunters across eons. They are the living fossils of Earth's history, reminders that evolution's finest creations are not always the newest but the most enduring. Yet even among humans, evolution's hand has not rested. Within our bodies lies an organ of near miraculous power, the liver. This quiet worker performs hundreds of vital functions, from filtering toxins to producing bile and storing energy. Most astonishing of all, it can regenerate itself. Even if 2/3 of the liver is removed, the remaining cells divide and grow until the organ returns to its full size within weeks. This regenerative ability, unlike the scarring seen in most tissues, restores full structure and function, a biological gift that has inspired myths since ancient times, like Prometheus, whose liver was eternally renewed. Today, this very property makes liver surgery and transplants possible, proving that within the human body lie echoes of nature's most remarkable self-repairing systems. In the ocean, where movement is often impossible, the barnacle demonstrates another extreme of adaptation. These small crustaceans live their lives cemented to rocks, ship hulls, and even whales, yet they have evolved one of the largest reproductive organs relative to body size in the entire animal kingdom. Since they cannot move to find mates, barnacles develop long, flexible appendages, sometimes up to 8 times their own body length, to reach neighboring individuals for reproduction. Hidden beneath their rough shells is a lesson in evolutionary problem-solving, showing how life invents elegant, if unexpected, solutions to the limitations it faces. Termites, though among the smallest of creatures, achieve greatness through unity. These tireless builders create mounds taller than a person, complete with intricate ventilation shafts and natural air conditioning systems that regulate temperature and humidity. Inside these fortress-like towers live millions of termites, each with a specific role: workers, soldiers, and the queen, who may live for decades. Their architecture is so advanced that modern engineers study termite mounds to design sustainable buildings with passive cooling systems. Moreover, termites recycle wood and plant matter, enriching the soil and supporting new plant life. Every mound, built grain by grain, stands as a monument to the power of cooperation, proof that intelligence can emerge not just from individuals, but from collective purpose. Intelligence, too, takes unexpected forms in creatures we often overlook. Bees, for instance, possess brains no larger than a pinhead, yet experiments show they can recognize human faces and remember them. By rewarding bees during training, scientists discovered they could learn to differentiate between different photographs of people, identifying key features as we do. This ability arises from their need to navigate complex floral landscapes and landmarks while foraging. Such cognitive skill, emerging from such a tiny brain, challenges our assumptions about intelligence, reminding us that nature prizes efficiency as much as size. Bees, buzzing between flowers, carry not just pollen but also memory, a network of learning, recognition, and adaptation encoded in miniature. In colder realms, penguins express tenderness through acts of simplicity. During courtship, male penguins search for the smoothest pebble they can find, presenting it to a female as an offering. If she accepts, they use the pebble together to build a nest, one that will protect their eggs from melting snow and shifting ice. This exchange, both practical and emotional, strengthens the bond between the pair, showing that even in the harshest climates, affection finds its form in the language of survival. Watching penguins waddle across the ice, balancing pebbles like treasures, is to glimpse devotion in its purest, most elemental form. In more mysterious corners of the world, the now extinct gastric brooding frogs of Australia revealed a parental adaptation unlike any other. These frogs swallowed their fertilized eggs, allowing them to develop inside the female's stomach. Her body responded by halting acid production entirely, turning a digestive organ into a living nursery. Over several weeks, the mother's stomach swelled as her young matured until fully formed froglets emerged from her mouth into the world. This transformation, of the stomach from a chamber of dissolution to one of creation, was among nature's most bizarre miracles. Though these frogs vanished in the 1980s, their biology continues to fascinate scientists who study preserved specimens in hopes of uncovering medical insights, perhaps even methods to regulate digestion or protect embryos in humans. Finally, as night falls and daylight fades, another quiet magic unfolds. Certain flowers, such as jasmine, moonflower, and evening primrose, time their fragrance not for human admiration, but to align with the rhythms of nocturnal life. They release their perfumes only after sunset, when moths and bats, their nighttime pollinators, take flight. The air fills with sweetness, invisible signals guiding these visitors to their blossoms. By reserving their scent for the night, these plants avoid competition with daytime pollinators like bees and butterflies, ensuring that their survival strategy unfolds under starlit skies. Each nocturnal bloom, whispering its fragrance into the darkness, participates in a dance older than humanity itself, a conversation between plant and pollinator written in scent and silence. Together, all these stories form a tapestry of wonder, one that reminds us that life, in every form, is an endless experiment in creativity. From the black skin of the polar bear to the shimmering eyes of sharks that predate trees, from regenerating livers to scent-releasing flowers, nature shows no limits to imagination. Every adaptation, every improbable mechanism, is a line in the great story of survival. Beneath the surface of every living thing lies ingenuity shaped by time, persistence, and necessity. The world around us is not static, it breathes, transforms, and evolves, forever teaching us that what seems ordinary may, in truth, be the most extraordinary of all. The chemistry behind these fragrances is intricate, often involving volatile oils released when temperatures cool and humidity rises, creating invisible messages between plants and pollinators in the night air. For humans, walking through a moonlit garden filled with these perfumes feels enchanting and serene, as though the air itself hums with mystery. Yet for plants, this is not romance but strategy. Each molecule of scent is a signal, a calculated lure to draw in creatures that ensure their survival through pollination. These nocturnal fragrances remind us that even when the world grows quiet after sunset, life continues its endless dialogue through chemistry, carried softly on the night breeze. In the quiet of another world, vampire bats of Central and South America engage in a very different kind of exchange. Known for drinking blood, they might seem sinister, but behind their nocturnal feeding lies a tale of cooperation and compassion. Each night, these small mammals venture out to feed from livestock, taking only minute amounts that rarely harm their hosts. Yet if one bat fails to find a meal, starvation can come quickly within a few nights. In an extraordinary display of empathy, successful bats return to share their blood meals by regurgitating them for their hungry companions. This generosity is not random. Bats remember who has shared before and repay that kindness in the future, creating a web of trust that holds the colony together. Their survival depends not just on cunning or strength, but on the moral currency of reciprocity. Beneath their eerie image, vampire bats prove that even in the harsh calculus of evolution, cooperation thrives, echoing the deep truth that kindness is as essential as competition in the story of life. In the ocean's shallows, the pistol shrimp, a creature scarcely the size of a thumb, holds a weapon so powerful it can briefly match the heat of the sun. When it snaps its oversized claw, a bubble forms and collapses in a burst of light and sound, producing a shockwave strong enough to stun prey. This incredible act, born not of fire but of physics, shows how water and pressure can become tools of destruction in the right hands, or claws. Colonies of pistol shrimp create an underwater crackling that can be heard by submarines, a living thunderstorm of snaps and bubbles. Nature, in its creativity, forged in this shrimp a weapon of astonishing precision, proof that size is no measure of power when evolution is the engineer. Meanwhile, above the waves, dragonflies dominate the air like fighter jets of the insect world. Their huge compound eyes, each holding up to 30,000 lenses, grant them a panoramic view of nearly 360 degrees. Nothing can sneak up on them. Even the faintest movement is detected and tracked with mechanical precision. They fly with such agility that their success rate at catching prey in midair often exceeds 90%, a feat of coordination and perception that makes them among the most skilled predators on the planet. For a dragonfly, the world is a kaleidoscope of movement and light, infinitely detailed and vibrant, far beyond what human vision can imagine. In contrast, deep below, the unassuming sea cucumber wields a defense so bizarre it borders on the unbelievable. When threatened, it can eject parts of its internal organs through its rear, creating a tangled, sticky distraction for predators. This grotesque sacrifice gives it a chance to escape, and remarkably, the lost organs regenerate within weeks. In this grisly yet effective tactic lies one of nature's most extraordinary survival gambits, an animal willing to destroy and rebuild itself in exchange for life. From this strange sea dweller, we glimpse a lesson about resilience. Survival sometimes means starting over, literally from the inside out. Within the human body, another marvel beats tirelessly, the heart, a muscular pump the size of a fist that never rests. It beats around 100,000 times every day, generating enough pressure to send blood through 60,000 miles of vessels, a network that could circle the Earth more than twice. Each beat propels life's essence, oxygen and nutrients, into even the tiniest capillaries. So strong is its pulse that if an artery were cut, blood could spurt several feet. Across a lifetime, it beats billions of times, pumping the equivalent of multiple Olympic swimming pools of blood. Beyond its symbolic role as the seat of emotion, the heart is an unrelenting engine, a living metronome of existence, driving the rhythm of life with a strength that rarely falters until the very end. In nature's more whimsical corners, light flickers in miniature lanterns carried by fireflies. On warm summer nights, they turn forests and meadows into shimmering constellations. Their glow, born from bioluminescence, is light without heat, a perfect conversion of energy. Within their abdomens, chemicals like luciferin and luciferase react with oxygen to create illumination so efficient that nearly no energy is wasted. To humans, this glow is pure magic, a living fairy tale. But to fireflies, it is a language, a coded signal for attraction, a beacon of love in darkness. Each species flashes in its own rhythm, a Morse code of the night. Scientists study this light for breakthroughs in medicine and clean technology, inspired by its flawless efficiency. In every glowing flicker, fireflies remind us how nature's smallest beings can shine brightest without burning out. Along the ancient shores of our planet, another survivor, the horseshoe crab, carries a secret in its blood. With armor-like shells and lineage older than the dinosaurs, these creatures look prehistoric because they are. But their blue blood sets them apart from nearly all others. Unlike humans, whose hemoglobin uses iron to carry oxygen, horseshoe crabs rely on copper-based hemocyanin, which turns blue when oxygenated. More astonishing still, their blood clots instantly when it encounters bacterial toxins, a defense mechanism so precise that humans use it to test the safety of vaccines and medical tools. This blue lifeblood has saved countless human lives, a gift from an animal that has survived 500 million years of evolution. Each spring, they crawl ashore to spawn, carrying with them the memory of Earth's distant past, their survival a bridge between epochs. On calmer waters, water striders perform miracles of balance, gliding effortlessly over ponds and streams as though skating on glass. Their legs, covered in microscopic hairs, repel water and trap air, allowing them to stand upon the liquid surface without sinking. They move with ease, propelled by the invisible tension that binds water molecules together. This force, surface tension, creates an unseen skin strong enough to bear their weight. What seems like magic is pure physics refined by evolution. Watching them skim across a pond feels like watching gravity itself take a pause, as if the universe bends its rules for a moment to allow grace to glide where it should not. And within us, deep in the blood that sustains our lives, lies another quiet marvel: iron. It is small in quantity, only about 3 to 4 grams in the average body, yet mighty in function. This amount, though barely enough to forge a small nail, is vital for every breath we take. Iron binds oxygen in our red blood cells, ferrying it from our lungs to every cell in need. Without it, life would suffocate from within. Every heartbeat and breath is made possible by these atoms, tirelessly binding and releasing oxygen in a rhythm older than our species itself. This humble metal, forged in the cores of dying stars, became the foundation of living breath, a cosmic inheritance beating within human veins. From the scent of night-blooming flowers to the glow of fireflies, from the compassion of vampire bats to the ferocity of pistol shrimp, from the resilience of sea cucumbers to the endurance of the human heart, nature reveals its astonishing creativity in every form. Each organism, each mechanism, each flicker of adaptation tells a story not of chaos, but of harmony, a symphony composed by evolution where chemistry, physics, and instinct intertwine. Beneath the surface beauty of the world lies an intricate logic that ties everything together, a reminder that the laws of nature are not just rules of survival but also expressions of wonder. Whether it is blue blood coursing through an ancient crab, invisible forces holding an insect upon water, or a microscopic molecule carrying life through veins, the universe whispers its secrets everywhere, waiting for us to listen. In every drop of blood, every glimmer of light, every fragrant breeze, the same truth endures: life is endlessly inventive, beautifully strange, and forever alive in motion. That something so seemingly ordinary as iron could hold the key to life itself is both humbling and poetic. The very iron that flows in your veins was born in the heart of ancient stars, forged in cosmic furnaces billions of years ago before being scattered across space in supernova explosions. Over eons, that stardust coalesced into planets, oceans, and eventually into you. Each breath you take is the universe inhaling through a living being, a continuation of processes begun long before Earth even existed. The realization that we are composed of atoms once belonging to stars binds humanity to the cosmos, reminding us that life is not separate from the universe but an extension of its creative energy. This connection becomes even more astonishing when we observe the natural world around us, filled with creatures whose abilities challenge the limits of our understanding. Some birds, for instance, navigate across continents and oceans with unerring precision, guided not by landmarks but by the invisible forces of the Earth itself. These migratory marvels possess a sense called magnetoception, allowing them to detect the planet's magnetic field as if they had an internal compass. Scientists believe this remarkable sense may come from specialized proteins in their eyes or tiny particles of magnetite in their tissues that align with magnetic lines of force, alter the magnetic field around them, and their sense of direction falters, proving that this ability is as real as sight or hearing. Each year, birds retrace the same ancient routes, returning to the same nesting sites with incredible accuracy, navigating by starlight, scent, and the unseen geometry of Earth's magnetism, a guidance system written into the planet's very fabric. Beneath the waves, another form of ancient intelligence drifts: jellyfish. These translucent beings have pulsed through Earth's oceans for over 500 million years, long before the first dinosaurs walked on land. They have no brain, no heart, and no centralized nervous system, yet they thrive in nearly every ocean on Earth. Instead of a brain, a simple nerve net coordinates their rhythmic contractions, allowing them to move and react to stimuli, Nutrients flow through their gelatinous bodies by diffusion, and some even emit bioluminescent light, glowing softly in the darkness like living lanterns. Their persistence defies our assumptions about what is necessary for life. They are living proof that complexity is not always required for survival. The jellyfish's existence is a masterclass in minimalism, showing that sometimes the simplest designs endure the longest. In tidal estuaries, oysters demonstrate another astonishing adaptation: the ability to change sex multiple times throughout their lives. Beginning as males, they later transition into females as they grow, and under certain environmental conditions, they can even switch back. This biological flexibility ensures that oyster populations maintain a stable balance between egg and sperm producers, sustaining reproduction despite shifting conditions. These unassuming shellfish, clinging motionless to rocks, embody adaptability at its finest, transforming their identities to meet the needs of their community and environment. Their very existence challenges the rigid boundaries we often place on gender and biology, revealing that in nature, change is not the exception but the rule. In the dark forests and deserts, another creature has evolved an extraordinary sense that seems almost supernatural. Rattlesnakes, with their iconic warning tails, possess specialized pit organs between their eyes and nostrils that detect infrared radiation, heat. This natural form of thermal vision allows them to hunt in complete darkness, sensing the warm bodies of prey like glowing beacons in a world otherwise invisible. A mouse scurrying through the night appears to the snake as a bright target against the cool backdrop of the earth. These sensory pits are so finely tuned that rattlesnakes can detect temperature differences as slight as a fraction of a degree. Combined with lightning-fast reflexes, this ability makes them among the most efficient predators on Earth. For humans, such a sense seems like the stuff of science fiction, but for the snake, it is simply another way to perceive reality, an extension of evolution's endless ingenuity. In contrast to the snake's heat-driven world, the wood frog of North America survives by embracing the cold. When winter descends, it allows itself to freeze solid. Its heart stops, its lungs cease to function, and ice crystals form within its body. But instead of dying, the frog protects its cells by flooding them with glucose, which acts as antifreeze, preventing damage. For months it lies frozen, a lifeless statue beneath the snow. Then, when spring sunlight returns, the ice melts, the frog's heart begins to beat again, and it hops away as though nothing had happened. This biological resurrection defies imagination, revealing how life can pause its processes entirely and still endure. It is a triumph of adaptation and a reminder that even death-like stillness can be temporary, a suspension of time itself in the service of survival. Intelligence, too, takes unexpected forms in nature. Crows, members of the corvid family, are among the world's most intelligent creatures. They fashion tools from twigs, leaves, and even wires, using them to extract insects or crack open nuts. In cities, they drop hard-shelled food onto roads, letting cars do the cracking for them. In laboratories, they solve multi-step puzzles, demonstrating foresight, memory, and problem-solving skills comparable to those of great apes. Even more astonishingly, they pass these techniques down to younger generations, creating local traditions, cultures, in essence, within their populations. A crow bending a stick into a hook is not just acting on instinct but engaging in deliberate innovation, showing that creativity is not a uniquely human gift, but a shared inheritance across species. Deeper within the jungles of Southeast Asia, a darker display of sacrifice unfolds among certain species of carpenter ants. When threatened, these ants rupture glands within their bodies, releasing sticky, toxic chemicals that immobilize or kill their enemies. This act of self-destruction, known as autophagy, kills the individual but protects the colony. The exploded body becomes both weapon and barricade, a final defense that ensures the survival of the community. In these tiny insects, evolution has sculpted one of nature's most extreme examples of altruism, a willingness to die for the greater good. It is a stark but profound reminder that in the grand design of life, cooperation and sacrifice can be as vital to survival as strength or intelligence. The same universe that produces exploding ants and resurrecting frogs also created the most complex organ known, the human brain. Despite its incredible sophistication, the brain is composed of about 75% water, an unassuming liquid that gives rise to thought, memory, emotion, and imagination. This water maintains the delicate electrical balance that allows neurons to communicate. Even mild dehydration can impair concentration and memory, showing just how dependent consciousness itself is on this simple substance. Water cushions brain cells, transports nutrients, and removes waste. It is the ocean of thought contained within our skulls. The brain is often described as an electrical network. Though primitive in form, sponges have thrived for hundreds of millions of years, predating the rise of complex animals, existing as some of the earliest multicellular life forms on Earth. They filter vast amounts of water daily, acting as silent purifiers of aquatic ecosystems, capturing tiny food particles and maintaining the clarity and balance of the waters they inhabit. Some species produce potent chemicals to deter predators, compounds so effective that they have inspired modern medicines for humans, particularly antibiotics and anti-cancer agents. In their quiet, immobile existence, sponges embody an ancient truth about survival, that life does not always need complexity to endure. Simplicity itself can be a masterful strategy, one that allows resilience through stability rather than speed or aggression. In the vast darkness of the ocean's depths, where sunlight never reaches, survival demands creativity and adaptation, as seen in certain species of squid that can detach their glowing arms to distract predators. When danger strikes, these squids perform an extraordinary act of self-preservation, detaching a writhing, bioluminescent arm that continues to shimmer and twist for minutes, serving as a living decoy. This adaptation, an aquatic parallel to a lizard's ability to drop its tail, shows how light can become a weapon and deception a shield. In the deep sea, where visibility is scarce and light is a beacon for both prey and predator, the glowing limb becomes an irresistible target, luring danger away while the squid slips silently into the surrounding gloom, vanishing from sight. It is a haunting demonstration of nature's willingness to sacrifice parts of itself for the preservation of the whole, a biological philosophy of survival through illusion and loss. Far beneath the Earth's crust, beyond the reach of light and warmth, another world of life exists. Bacteria living miles underground within rocks and aquifers in complete darkness. These microbes do not rely on photosynthesis, for sunlight never touches their realm. Instead, they draw their energy from the chemistry of the Earth itself, feeding on minerals, hydrogen, sulfur, and methane. Some have existed in sealed, isolated environments for millions of years, their slow metabolisms allowing them to persist in scarcity, dividing perhaps only once in a decade. Their existence has expanded humanity's understanding of where life can thrive, proving that even in the most extreme and barren environments, the spark of biology endures. These discoveries raise profound questions about life beyond Earth. If microbes can survive in the deep crust of our planet, perhaps they might also exist beneath the icy surfaces of moons like Europa or within Martian rocks, hidden yet alive. Life, it seems, requires far less than we once imagined, just energy, a few molecules, and time. On the surface, plants have evolved their own ingenious strategies for survival, often weaving beauty and deception into the same form. Certain species, such as the corpse flower and the carrion cactus, have turned repulsion into advantage by mimicking the scent of rotting flesh. Their massive blooms emit a grotesque odor that lures flies and beetles searching for decay. Deceived by scent, these insects become unwitting pollinators, transferring pollen as they move from one foul-smelling bloom to another. Some of these plants even generate heat to amplify their odor, ensuring that their stench carries farther through the air. Though revolting to humans, this strategy is elegance through adaptation, turning death's perfume into the fragrance of life. Such plants remind us that nature's creativity knows no moral bounds. Beauty and ugliness are merely different tools for survival. In the ocean, dolphins have found another remarkable solution to a biological challenge: how to sleep without drowning. Unlike humans, they cannot fully surrender to unconsciousness because they must surface to breathe. Their answer is unihemispheric slow-wave sleep. They rest one half of their brain at a time while the other remains alert, one eye open to watch for predators or navigate currents. Over time, the active hemisphere switches, giving each side a chance to recuperate. This unique method allows dolphins to maintain constant vigilance, ensuring safety while still getting the rest they need. Mothers with newborn calves often sleep even less, staying aware as they guide and protect their young through the open sea. For dolphins, rest is never total. Sleep becomes a dance between awareness and surrender, between the need for safety and the pull of fatigue. Humans, too, reveal unexpected depths of adaptation, particularly in the hidden abilities of their senses. The human nose, often underestimated, can distinguish over 1 trillion different scents. Within the nasal cavity are hundreds of receptor types, each designed to detect specific molecular shapes. Together, they form a symphony of detection, allowing the brain to identify odors with extraordinary precision, from the faint sweetness of a distant flower to the acrid hint of smoke or rain on dry earth. This sense of smell is deeply intertwined with memory. A single scent can summon moments long forgotten, unlocking emotions stored deep within the mind. Evolution shaped this sensitivity for survival, guiding our ancestors toward food, away from danger, and toward each other through the subtle chemistry of pheromones and environment. Each breath we take carries not just oxygen but a vast library of invisible molecules, each whispering stories of the world around us. Above the ground, birds reveal another kind of perfection, one engineered for flight. To rise into the air, evolution sculpted their bodies for weightlessness without fragility. Their bones are not solid like those of mammals but hollow, supported by thin, strong struts that maintain rigidity while minimizing mass. These air-filled bones connect to a system of air sacs that flow through the bird's body, enhancing breathing efficiency during the high demands of flight. With every wing beat, oxygen circulates through their bodies in a continuous stream, fueling endurance and power. This balance of lightness and strength allows birds to travel across continents, migrate over oceans, and soar effortlessly through the sky. Their very skeletons embody the principle of perfect compromise, fragile enough to fly, strong enough to endure storms. Even creatures we despise hold remarkable secrets of resilience. Cockroaches, the ultimate survivors, thrive in conditions that would destroy most animals. With their slow metabolism and efficient energy storage, they can survive a month without food, relying on reserves of fat and moisture. They are opportunistic feeders, consuming everything from crumbs to glue to book bindings. Their resilience extends beyond hunger. They can withstand high levels of radiation, survive without their heads for days, and adapt to near darkness. Their endurance across epochs of environmental capes demonstrates that survival favors persistence over perfection. The cockroach, scuttling unseen in the corners of our world, is a symbol of life's stubborn will to continue, no matter the odds. In contrast, salamanders possess a power that feels almost miraculous: the ability to regenerate lost limbs, spinal cords, and even portions of their brains. When injured, they activate dormant stem cells that rebuild damaged tissues, restoring full function and form. The axolotl, a species of salamander, has become a subject of fascination among scientists for its capacity to recover from severe injuries that would be fatal or permanently disabling in most animals. Studying these amphibians may one day unlock secrets that revolutionize human medicine, offering hope for regenerating damaged spinal cords or lost organs. The salamander teaches that healing can be more than survival. It can be renewal, a return to wholeness after destruction. Meanwhile, in the distant plains of Australia, kangaroos remind us that beginnings in nature can be as astonishing as endings. A newborn kangaroo, or joey, enters the world smaller than a jelly bean, blind, hairless, and scarcely formed. Yet guided by instinct, it crawls unassisted from the birth canal into its mother's pouch, where it attaches to a teat and continues to grow, nourished and protected in that living cradle. Over months, the joey transforms from a fragile embryo into the iconic creature that bounds across the outback, fueled by legs that will someday carry it great distances. This extraordinary method of reproduction, shared by all marsupials, reveals a profound evolutionary trade-off: birth at a vulnerable stage followed by protected growth, a compromise between exposure and safety. Across all these examples, from the stillness of sponges to the cunning of squids, the endurance of bacteria to the ingenuity of plants, the vigilance of dolphins to the sensitivity of the human nose, the grace of birds, the tenacity of cockroaches, the regeneration of salamanders, and the delicate beginnings of kangaroos, nature tells the same story in countless dialects. That life endures through endless variation, through adaptation, balance, and imagination. Every form, whether microscopic or massive, luminous or hidden, embodies the same cosmic creativity, the same drive to persist and evolve. In this vast web of existence, there are no wasted designs, no meaningless lives, only endless experiments in survival, each as wondrous and improbable as the next. A newborn joey is born after only about a month of development, emerging blind, hairless, and smaller than a jelly bean. Despite its fragility, it instinctively crawls into its mother's pouch, where it latches onto a teat and continues to grow for months in safety. Inside this warm, living cradle, the joey receives milk, protection, and a stable environment that allows it to complete the development it could not manage inside the womb. As weeks pass, it begins to peek out at the world, first timidly and then with growing confidence, hopping in and out before finally leaving the pouch for good. This unique reproductive strategy allows kangaroos to survive in the harsh, unpredictable environments of Australia, where carrying young internally for long periods would be risky. In the joey's tiny, improbable journey lies one of nature's most endearing adaptations, a living symbol of resilience and maternal design. Deep within the human body, another wonder resides: your stomach acid, a chemical so powerful it can dissolve metal. Composed primarily of hydrochloric acid, gastric acid can corrode substances like zinc or iron with ease. Yet within the body it performs the vital role of breaking down food into nutrients, transforming destruction into nourishment. The stomach, aware of its own potency, shields itself with a thick layer of mucus that prevents the acid from digesting its own tissues. Even so, this lining must renew itself every few days, a delicate cycle of destruction and rebirth. Without this protection, the very force that sustains us would turn inward in catastrophic fury. Every meal you eat is broken down by a corrosive liquid strong enough to melt metal, yet it is precisely this controlled danger that fuels life, a perfect example of balance between creation and decay. Far from the warmth of the human body, in the crushing depths of the ocean, lives a creature that seems almost unreal, the barrel-eye fish. Its head is transparent like a dome of glass, revealing its eyes and internal organs. This adaptation allows it to collect the faintest traces of light from above while protecting its sensitive retinas from the darkness that surrounds it. Its tubular eyes, hidden beneath a clear shield, can rotate inside the head, scanning both upward and forward without moving the body. To human eyes, the sight is uncanny, a living window into the machinery of life itself. Yet for the barrel eye, it is a perfect survival strategy, a way to detect prey silhouetted against the dim shimmer of the distant surface. Such bizarre adaptations remind us how alien Earth's oceans truly are, filled with creatures that stretch our definitions of what a living body can be. On land, another traveler undertakes a different kind of journey, the monarch butterfly. Each year, these delicate insects embark on one of the most astonishing migrations in the animal kingdom. Beginning in Canada and the northern United States, they travel thousands of miles to overwintering sites in central Mexico. What makes this migration extraordinary is that no single butterfly completes it. It spans multiple generations. One generation flies part of the way, breeds, and dies, leaving its offspring to continue the journey. Though they have never traveled the route before, each new generation somehow knows where to go, guided by instinct, the sun, and Earth's magnetic field. By autumn, millions gather in mountain forests, clustering so densely that the weight of their wings bends branches downward. To walk through such a grove is to stand within a living storm of color, a trembling cloud of orange and black that has journeyed across a continent. The monarch butterfly's fragile wings carry a story more epic than that of many larger creatures, a tale of endurance written in the air. In contrast to this grand migration, the life of a hummingbird unfolds at an entirely different scale, one of speed, intensity, and astonishing control. By day, a hummingbird's heart beats more than 1,000 times per minute, its wings blur in motion up to 80 beats per second, and its metabolism races faster than nearly any other animal. But when night falls, this tiny creature faces a challenge: how to conserve enough energy to survive until morning. To do this, it enters a state called torpor, a controlled form of hibernation. Its body temperature plummets, its metabolism slows almost to a stop, and its heart can pause for seconds at a time. What would be fatal for most animals becomes a nightly ritual of survival. In the stillness of darkness, the hummingbird becomes like a gemstone, motionless and cold, waiting for dawn to restore it to life. As the sun rises, the frozen spark within it ignites once more, and it returns to its day of impossible motion, feeding on nectar with furious joy. Nature, it seems, is as much about stillness as it is about movement. Some creatures, however, defy even the most basic boundaries of life and death. Certain beetles can survive for days after losing their heads. This uncanny endurance is possible because their nervous systems are decentralized. Their vital functions are distributed throughout the body rather than controlled by a single brain. They breathe through spiracles, small holes along their sides, and can continue to move even after decapitation. Without a head, of course, they cannot eat, drink, or respond to complex stimuli, and death eventually comes. But the fact that they continue for so long is a striking example of insect resilience, a reminder that not all life follows the rules we do. Where humans perish within seconds without a head, beetles endure, existing in a strange twilight between life and death until their systems finally fail. Even plants, seemingly passive and silent, reveal astonishing abilities when closely observed. Though they lack ears, plants can hear, or more precisely sense, vibrations, including the specific sounds of caterpillars chewing their leaves. When exposed to these vibrations, plants respond by producing defensive chemicals or strengthening their tissues to deter further feeding. This remarkable ability allows them to anticipate harm before it happens, effectively mounting a preemptive defense. It also helps them detect the vibrations of rain, wind, or even pollinators, adjusting their physiology accordingly. Far from being passive scenery, plants are deeply attuned to the world around them, reacting to touch, sound, and light in ways scientists are only beginning to understand. The idea that a leaf can perceive the sound of being eaten and respond blurs the line between awareness and instinct in living systems. Beneath their quiet exterior, plants conduct a constant, invisible dialogue with their environment. Deep beneath the ocean once again, another master of transformation thrives, the octopus. These extraordinary creatures are famous for their camouflage, but their abilities go beyond mere color change. Special pigment cells called chromatophores expand and contract to create shifting patterns and hues across their skin. Beneath these are iridophores and leucophores, which reflect and scatter light to produce shimmering effects. Even more astonishingly, octopuses can change the very texture of their skin, raising bumps or smoothing themselves out to mimic rocks, coral, or sand. In moments, they can vanish into their surroundings as if dissolving into the seafloor. This mastery of disguise is not only for defense but also communication. They use patterns and color flashes to signal to other octopuses during mating or conflict. Watching an octopus transform is like witnessing a living illusion, its body rewriting itself in real time. In their flexibility, they embody nature's ability to reinvent itself constantly, a reminder that identity in the natural world is fluid, not fixed. Finally, in the icy waters of the Southern Ocean, there lives a family of fish whose very blood challenges what we think life requires. Antarctic icefish possess clear blood, a rarity among vertebrates. They lack hemoglobin, the iron-rich protein that carries oxygen and gives most blood its red color. Instead, these fish absorb oxygen directly through their skin and plasma, taking advantage of the cold, oxygen-rich waters in which they live. This adaptation, though bizarre, allows them to thrive where few others can survive, turning the freezing environment into an advantage. Their transparent blood flows silently through their bodies, proof that even the most fundamental rules of biology can bend to meet the needs of survival. From marsupial pouches to transparent heads, from sleeping hearts to blood that runs clear, the natural world reveals an endless capacity for invention. Every creature, from the tiniest beetle to the largest butterfly swarm, carries within it a story of adaptation, a negotiation between challenge and possibility. Together, these tales remind us that life is not a single form or formula but an ever-evolving experiment, one that finds ways to persist in deserts, oceans, jungles, and even within our own bodies. The world is alive with strangeness and beauty, and every heartbeat, every leaf vibration, every flicker of transformation whispers the same truth: survival is the art of change. To compensate for the lack of hemoglobin, the hearts of Antarctic ice fish are extraordinarily large, pumping blood constantly to ensure that oxygen reaches every cell of their bodies in the freezing southern waters. Though this adaptation might seem extreme, it allows these unique creatures to thrive in conditions where most life would perish. Scientists remain fascinated by the ice fish, studying their unusual circulatory systems in hopes of uncovering secrets about metabolism, adaptation, and survival in oxygen-poor environments. Their clear, colorless blood is a living reminder that even traits we consider fundamental to life, such as red blood, are not universal. Life, ever inventive, always finds alternative paths to persist. In the sky and forests above, another example of life's creativity can be heard: the regional dialects of birds. What might sound like identical melodies to human ears are, upon closer listening, complex variations unique to each population. White-crowned sparrows, for example, sing differently along the west coast of North America than those living inland. These dialects are not inherited but learned, passed down through generations as young birds imitate the songs of their elders. Over time, small changes accumulate, much like human languages evolving through culture and geography. Female birds often prefer mates whose songs match their local dialects, intertwining communication and reproduction in an elegant web of evolutionary consequence. For scientists, these avian dialects provide a rare glimpse into the spread of culture beyond humanity, showing that learning, imitation, and even regional identity exist across species. To walk through a forest and hear different flocks singing their own variations of the same song is to realize that the natural world hums with cultures as complex and meaningful as our own. Meanwhile, beneath the surface of still lakes near Mexico City lives a creature that defies the usual rules of development: the axolotl. This amphibian, known for its perpetual youth, never undergoes the full metamorphosis typical of its salamander relatives. Instead of shedding its juvenile traits, the axolotl remains larval for life, retaining its feathery external gills and fully aquatic nature even as it becomes sexually mature. This phenomenon, called neoteny, allows axolotls to reproduce without ever leaving the water, their soft pink bodies and delicate frills giving them an otherworldly appearance. Yet beneath their charm lies astonishing biological power. Axolotls possess extraordinary regenerative abilities, capable of regrowing lost limbs, repairing damaged spinal cords, and even restoring portions of their brains. In ancient Aztec mythology, they were linked to the god Xolotl, a deity of transformation and survival, and today, they stand as symbols of resilience and renewal. Scientists continue to study them closely, hoping that their regenerative powers might one day unlock new possibilities for human medicine. The axolotl lives as both paradox and promise, a being forever young, forever adaptable, forever fascinating. And within our own bodies, change is just as constant and miraculous. Though it feels hard and permanent, your skeleton is not fixed stone but living tissue, continually renewed through a process of cellular remodeling. Specialized bone cells called osteoclasts break down old tissue, while osteoblasts lay down fresh material in its place. Over time, this dance of destruction and creation completely replaces your skeleton roughly every 10 years. This ongoing renewal allows bones to adapt to shifting stresses, to grow stronger through use, and to quietly repair microscopic damage long before it becomes serious. It also means that the bones within you today are not the same ones you carried a decade ago. Far from being monuments of permanence, your bones are rivers of transformation, ancient in structure yet new in substance, built and rebuilt one cell at a time. Even the hardest parts of us flow through cycles of decay and renewal, proof that impermanence is not loss but life itself. As we reach the end of this gentle journey through biology's wonders, we can look back at the vast, intricate world we've explored, from the invisible spirals of DNA coiled within our cells to the glowing forms that drift through the midnight depths of the ocean. We've wandered through forests that whisper underground, through skies alive with migrating wings, through bodies that beat, breathe, and grow in endless rhythm. biology reminds us that nothing in nature is static. Everything lives in motion, cells dividing, forests growing, rivers shifting, hearts pulsing, even stones weathering slowly into sand. Bones dissolve and rebuild. Trees speak through chemical signals and fungal threads. Animals adapt in ways that seem to border on magic, wings patterned like stained glass, eyes as vast and unblinking as moons, bodies that can freeze solid and awaken again, or regrow themselves from the brink of ruin. And you, too, are part of this ever-changing symphony. Within you, trillions of cells are working in quiet harmony, dividing, repairing, remembering, and responding. Your heartbeat is a rhythm older than language, your breath a thread in the shared pulse of life. Every flicker of thought, every dream, every moment of stillness is a continuation of a story that began long before humanity, and will continue long after us. Even when you sleep, your body hums with unseen activity, your cells rebuild, your neurons consolidate memories, and your heart continues its tireless work. Rest is not a pause from life but an essential part of its pattern, the gentle counterpoint to motion. The facts we've explored tonight, from icefish with clear blood to birds that sing in local dialects, from salamanders that never grow up to skeletons that renew themselves, are all small windows into the same truth. Life is both fragile and fierce, fleeting and eternal, strange and profoundly beautiful. It is a collection of miracles so common we often forget to notice them. But when we slow down, when we listen closely, the world reveals its quiet poetry. Every adaptation is a verse, every heartbeat a note in the song of existence. If you've found calm in these reflections, or if sleep has begun to drift gently over you, let it come. Rest, like renewal, is woven into the fabric of every living thing. The forests will keep breathing. The oceans will keep pulsing. The cells within you will keep working, carrying you softly through the rhythms of life. And as you let go of wakefulness, sinking into dreams filled with forests, oceans, and skies, may you feel yourself as part of it all, one small but vital piece of the living world. For tonight, there is nothing more to do, no questions left to chase. The earth will continue its quiet spinning, life will continue its endless transformations, and you, for now, can rest in the gentle knowledge that you belong to this vast, breathing tapestry. The day is done. The world hums on. And as you drift deeper into sleep, remember that even in stillness, life continues, silent, miraculous, and endlessly new.